The Portland Trail Blazers are contenders, if they fix one thing. What the Portland Trail Blazers are doing this season is extremely impressive. Sitting at 9-3, including a 6-1 record on the road, the Blazers have had one of the hardest schedules in the league, and have home victories over the Phoenix Suns and Denver Nuggets, and are currently in the midst of a 4-1 road trip with victories over the Suns, Heat, and Pelicans. Damian Lillard has missed 5 games, and Anthony Simons, Yusuf Nurkic, and Trendon Watford have missed multiple games as well, but that has not made a difference. After being a bottom 3 defense the past 2 seasons, the Blazers have been elite on that side of the floor, and that's without their prized defensive acquisition in Gary Payton II, who was supposed to come in and fix things. The Blazers have figured out the defense anyway, as their roster still features a lot of long, rangy, and athletic wings, while Chauncey Billups has been implementing multiple defensive schemes, and he's an early frontrunner for Coach of the Year for how he's been able to keep opposing offenses off balance with his schematical creativity, while getting players to buy in on the defensive side of the floor and play with a level of effort that was lacking last year. But there is one thing the Blazers need to fix to reach true contender status, and in this video, I'm going to go over what that is, as well as what some analytics say about your Portland Trail Blazers. Looking at things such as where they rank on both sides of the floor, how well their zone actually performs, and much more. But first, this video is sponsored by our Discord. With Twitter going downhill, we've decided to completely reimagine our Discord server. Our goal is to bring together the Blazers Uprise community in a central location where you guys can chat in live game threads, talk in voice chats, and even game with each other. My friend Grant has been implementing some amazing things, and here's what we got for you. We will have a live game thread for each game where you can hang out with other Blazer fans and talk about the action. The first thread for last night's Pelicans game was lively and a ton of fun to participate in. We have resources such as a tab showing the Blazers schedule, as well as a feed that will show tweets from myself, Eric Brandt, the Blazers Twitter account, various media members, and even Blazers players. Also, we have a gaming section where you can opt in to certain games. If you look on the left side of our Discord, there is a gaming section. And if you go down to game rules and click on that thread, you will be taken to a drop-down menu where you can click on specific games that you want to opt into. Games that you like to play and would be willing to play with other Blazers Uprise members. If you opt into a specific game, you or anyone else can tag that game when you're trying to get a lobby together. I'm an avid gamer myself, so I'll definitely be utilizing this. I thought this was a great way to bring some Blazer fans together, meet some other people, and play some games. To join our Discord, click the link in the description box below. Now, back to the video. Before we jump into the bulk of this video, let me give a shout out to Reese and JJ for helping me gather some of these stats. I linked both of their Twitters down in the description box below, and I honestly think they are very good follows, so if you're a Blazer fan, definitely check out their Twitters. Now, a big reason for the Blazers' defensive improvement has been their use of a zone defense. In prior seasons under Terry Stotts, Portland employed drop coverage on pick and rolls the majority of the time, and this got picked apart, as the Blazers finished 27th and 29th in adjusted defensive rating in his last 2 seasons as head coach. He was fired, Chauncey Billups was brought in, and last season the Blazers employed an extremely aggressive pick and roll scheme that worked at times to start the season, but required a level of effort off the ball that was clearly lacking. After a roster overhaul that gave the Blazers better defense on the wing spots and saw Anthony Simons replace CJ McCollum as the starting shooting guard, Billups had a roster that was better suited for his coaching style. But Chauncey also overhauled his defensive philosophy, introducing a zone that has been giving opponents fits while also mixing up pick and roll coverages at a higher rate. But let's talk about the zone. The Blazers play zone defense on 14.4% of their possessions, which is in the top 5 in the league in terms of usage. The Blazers zone is extremely effective, with a defensive rating of 82.8. This is in the 74th percentile, which Synergy categorizes as very good. However, this is more impressive than it seems, as zone defenses are generally utilized as a change in pace look that teams rarely stay in for multiple possessions in a row. The longer NBA offenses go playing against a zone defense, the more they tend to figure it out, and they usually start picking it apart and executing against it. It is extremely impressive for the Blazers to play as much zone defense as they do, while only giving up 34% shooting from the field and 33% shooting from 3. Part of the reason for the Blazers' success is Billups likes to stray from the usual 2-3 setup, which generally features both guards as the top 2 guys, the 2 forwards on the bottom, and then the center in the middle. Billups switches this up by putting length at the top of the zone, with Jeremy Grant, Justice Winslow, Shaedon Sharpe, and Nasir Little playing in those spots, while giving guards such as Damian Lillard and Anthony Simons an easier assignment playing the bottom corners of the zone. The forwards at the top of the zone have done a very good job disrupting entry passes to the high post, which is a common spot that offenses will try and get the ball in order to beat a zone, and the top of the Blazers zone has done a really good job filling in the gaps from wing to wing. Meanwhile, both Jusuf Nurkic and Drew Eubanks have been exceptional shading the ball, protecting the rim, handling cutters, and simply matching up correctly, which is tough for the center of a 2-3 zone. At the NBA level, there is defensive 3 seconds in the key, which applies if a defensive player is not within arm's length reach of an offensive player, and Portland big men have done a very good job of not picking up defensive 3-second calls while playing a zone, which commonly plagues other NBA teams. This zone has been more than a change in pace look for the Portland Trail Blazers, it's been an effective defensive weapon. Another reason for the Blazers' success is their late-game heroics. While they have arguably the clutchest player in the league in Damian Lillard, it's been everyone and everything else. On the season, the Blazers have the 2nd-ranked defense and the 8th-ranked offense in the 4th quarter in terms of points given up. The Blazers have stifled opponents down the stretch in close games, and they have executed on the offensive end. It's crazy that the Blazers have 2 buzzer beaters in their first 12 games, and none of them have been by Damian Lillard. As a testament to the Blazers' more complete offensive roster that I'll touch upon in the second, it's been their starting forwards, Josh Hart and Jeremy Grant, who have buzzer beaters this season. The Blazers have been phenomenal in close games with a ton of close wins, and while it doesn't make the point differential look super impressive, this team certainly seems to have a clutch gene that extends far beyond their best player. A key for the Blazers executing defensively in the 4th quarter is oftentimes they will resort to a small ball lineup to ramp up the defensive pressure, fly around in passing lanes, and provide timely help side defense to make up for a lack of size. Without Jusuf Nurkic and Drew Eubanks on the floor, the Blazers have a net rating of plus 23.7 in 119 possessions. Net rating means the amount of points a lineup outscores their opponents by every 100 possessions. 23.7 points is an extremely large margin. The Blazers have a defensive rating of 92 with small ball lineups. The Blazers' successful small ball units can be chalked up to Justice Winslow and Josh Hart playing bigger than their listed heights, as they are some of the most physical defenders in the league and extremely strong, while Jeremy Grant, Shaedon Sharpe, and Nasir Little all have 7-foot wingspans, are high-level athletes, and can alter shots around the rim, as well as play passing lanes with their length. What's scary for the rest of the NBA is Gary Payton II will fit into this perfectly. The Blazers signed GP2 with their mid-level exception this past offseason, and he's been out after having core muscle surgery in July. He's expected to make his debut in a couple of days on November 15th against the San Antonio Spurs. Despite being only 6'2", Payton is an elite on-ball defender against guards and forwards, and can even hold his own against centers for stretches. He's one of the best in the league at playing passing lanes, forcing turnovers, and protecting the rim for a player of his size. The fact that the Blazers have become a high-level defensive team and established an identity on that end without Gary Payton II is extremely impressive. Payton was supposed to come in and help the Blazers fix their defensive issues, not be the icing on the cake for an already elite unit. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but where the Blazers have room for improvement is on the offensive end. The Blazers currently rank 16th in offensive rating, and there is one key issue that has plagued them this year. That is turnovers. The Blazers are currently tied for 5th worst in the league, averaging a whopping 16.5 turnovers per game. And this is after a season-low 9 turnover performance against the New Orleans Pelicans. In terms of efficiency, the Blazers are good. They rank 9th in the league in terms of true shooting percentage, much better than their 16th rated offense, showing the effect that the turnovers are having in dragging it down. And a lot of these turnovers are silly mistakes or misreads that don't make a lot of sense. This Blazers team has a lot of smart players that can truly pass the ball, but Damian Lillard and Josh Hart are easily setting career worse for turnover percentages, and Anthony Simons, Jeremy Grant, and Jusuf Nurkic are all having bad years taking care of the ball compared to their career averages. This can be explained somewhat by the Blazers making a more concerted effort to move the ball. During Terry Stotts' final 2 seasons with the team, the Blazers ranked dead last in assist percentage. After a lost season last year, Chauncey Billups now has the Blazers ranked 14th in assist percentage, far better than their previous seasons. However, this doesn't do the Blazers justice, as the Blazers are ranked 3rd in free throw attempts at 25.8 per game. And many of these foul drawing opportunities come off good dump-off passes to cutters or other situations that would otherwise result in an assist. This is part of the Blazers' offensive philosophy. They've been vocal about being connected on that end and trying to constantly drive into the paint to score, and if that's not there, to collapse the defense and kick the ball out. Portland has focused on getting defenses caught in rotations and attacking the gaps, which has helped them get to the free throw line consistently. Meanwhile, the Blazers are 5th in the NBA in three-point shooting at 38.4%, but shoot the 6th fewest threes at only 30 per game. Catch-and-shoot threes off of kick-out passes are usually the easiest passes to shoot off of, and the Blazers are getting a lot of those. Therefore, this shooting clip seems sustainable, especially if Anthony Simons improves upon his 36% shooting clip. He's shot over 40% behind the arc the past 2 seasons. In terms of the weaponry around Damian Lillard, Jeremy Grant has been the perfect third option, who can step up and play like a number 1 option when it's needed. Jusuf Nurkic has started the season 6 for 11 from 3, and although his finishing hasn't been consistent, the Blazers don't rely on him to score, and he's had a couple of big games. Josh Hart has been the perfect glue guy, who's rebounding at an elite level for a small forward and has been playing a facilitatory role, but without Damian Lillard and Jusuf Nurkic in the Blazers' previous game, he stepped up and was a more complimentary scorer, dropping 17 points against his old team, the New Orleans Pelicans. And Josh Hart averaged almost 20 points per game in a Blazer uniform last season, so he can certainly score the ball as well. And the Blazers also have numerous offensive weapons off the bench, including Shaedon Sharpe and Nasir Little, both of whom are athletic freaks shooting over 40% from 3. The Blazers have so many different offensive weapons that Damian Lillard has been able to play within the flow of the offense instead of having to create everything himself off the dribble. This has led to 2 of the easiest 40-point performances that I've ever seen him have. And in the past, Lillard has carried starting lineups including Al-Farouq Aminu and Maurice Harkless to top 10 offensive performances. While the Blazers currently rank 16th, part of that is due to Dame only playing in 7 of 12 games, and a healthy Damian Lillard-led team with more offensive firepower around him than he's had in his entire career that also moves the ball better and is therefore harder to guard. That certainly has the upside to be a top 5 offense if the Blazers can clean up their turnovers and silly mistakes. Now, maybe the defense doesn't sustain their level of play, but given the fact that the Blazers have played a majority of their schedule against playoff teams on the road and without their best defensive piece in Gary Payton II, you could make the argument that the Blazers will be even higher by the end of the season. Being a top 10 team on both sides of the floor is the benchmark for a contending team, and I'd bet on the Blazers achieving that mark. Regardless, this team will be dangerous for the rest of the Western Conference once the playoffs roll around, as defenses won't be able to load up on Dame like they have in postseasons past, and the Blazers will be able to win games in multiple ways, including the defensive end. This team has the look of a serious contender. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Let me know what you think of the Blazers' 9-3 start down in the comment section below. Do you agree with the sentiments that I've expressed in this video? Do you disagree? I'm curious to see what you have to say. Leave a like on this video, it really helps us out, and feel free to share it with other Blazer fans as we make our push towards 8,000 subscribers. Remember to join our Discord as well, link in the description box below, and with that being said, I'm out of here. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.